Hey, long time no see. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Um,
Hmm.
I just tagged Jennifer. You see Jennifer Bassani there. I just tagged her because she wanted me to let her know about the show tonight.
Okay.
She's a friend of mine.
Okay.
So, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm doing very good. Okay, got to
good.
stop that. Okay. Now, um, I think this is a really interesting topic, and I think it's a really interesting topic because you and I are so at the opposite ends of the spectrum. Uh,
Hmm.
you're married, you have kids, you have a career with your husband, um, family, you take care of a home, you have pets. Yeah, your free time, I think, a lot of time is quite questionable. Now,
Yeah.
me, on the other hand, I'm semi-retired. I have, hey, George. Oh my gosh, George is here. Hi. Um,
I'm so glad he's here. Hi, George.
and me, I'm semi-retired, no kids, just, I have a lot of free time. So this is going to be a lot of questions I'm going to be asking you tonight, Lise, because
All
I
right.
think it's really, really important.
Yeah.
So my opinion is guess what? I don't think you can have it all. I think it's impossible. Don't hate me, everybody, but you can't do everything. You just can't. Without help, you can't do it. And
Yeah.
I think in this day and age, Leave It to Beaver, where the little woman was cooking and cleaning and coming home and just had that, as opposed to,
Well,
say, Modern Family, where Claire had the husband, had the kids, had the job,
mhm.
juggled everything. Times
Yeah.
have changed. And quite frankly, Lisa, I don't know how you do it. I don't know. I don't know. So
At the
please.
end of the day, I think the same thing too, Helen. There you wake up in the morning, you're like, all right, how am I going to get it all done? I think that's one of the big things I think about is like, how am I going to get it all done? You feel overwhelmed, you feel tired before the day even begins, and whatever is left over from the day before that you didn't get to is now piled onto all the, day's work or the things that you're thinking about. So for me, I don't know about you, Helen, but I have probably 30 tabs open at one time. Like even as we're
Mhm,
doing this show, I have 30 tabs open. They're there, they're back there, they're up there. They're just there, they're lingering. I can focus
mhm.
on my task at hand 90% of the time. I can do that. But then sometimes I'm like, I look around, I'm like, "Ooh, a bird." Oh, an email just came through. So you get distractions, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that people have with work, life, love balance. You get distracted.
Well, George just said the modern woman is crazy busy, and I agree. But I have a question for you, Lisa.
Yeah.
Do you believe in multitasking? Because I think that's a killer. So,
I think
mhm,
I'll explain it this way, all right, to kind of give you an idea.
sure.
I did when, believe it or not, I'm 50 now, right? My kids are grown, they're out of the house. We have
Mhm,
3 dogs, okay? And it's just me and Danny. Back in the day when I had the full-time job working 3 a.m. to 3 p.m., and I had 3 kids in diapers and an older one, and I, the craziness, school, preschool, diapers, just running around. I was more organized. I was more structured. I got it all done. I thought there were stressful times then. I think it's more stressful now, and I do not know why. And that's the frustrating thing, if that makes sense.
Well, is it ever 50-50?
Yeah, yeah. I think I will take on, we talked about this a little bit. Maybe I'm not a martyr, but maybe I take on more because with our business, what Danny does is a lot more, and he's needed in a different way with our business. He knows things that I don't do. So I will pick up the slack with the home stuff. I'll cook a little bit more. I'll clean a little bit more. Does he do those things? Yes, but it's not completely 50-50.
Hmm.
Because I'll just be like, no, he doesn't need to worry about this. I'll do it. So I think I do a lot of that.
Mhm.
But it's little things. It's not like, because we don't have little kids running around, so I'm not like chasing like a 5-year-old, which is
Right.
better.
Okay.
Um,
Mhm.
chasing after a dog, but
Yeah. Mhm.
um, I do feel I had more structure, I was more organized and less stressed.
Mhm.
An example, I remember back in the day when we would go vacation, I would use my dining room table as the place for all the things to get it ready the week before the trip. Each kid had their items on that dining room table a week before. So all I had to do was put it in a suitcase. Everything was packed, organized, and done. Now, if I go away for a couple of days, I'm like, where are my panties? Like where like what has
You could go
happened?
commando. I mean, sorry.
Well, yeah, well, it depends on your outfit. Um, but you know what I mean? Like I'm
Sure.
not it's just different now and I don't know what it is. Is it me?
Well,
Am
what
I
about
just old?
okay. No, but okay, what about balancing all this? I mean, you just gave me a whole lowdown of things you do. What
Yeah,
about what about your relationship? I mean, when you're doing all this, you're cooking, you're doing a job, you're building with Danny. You do
yeah.
worry about your kids, even if they're out of the house.
Oh, yeah.
Mom, I need a ride, or mom, something. You're going to go. What about self care? But first, we're going to go back to what about the relationship? When you guys are both hustling, I mean, sometimes something's got to give, something's got to suffer.
There's no end because I
Hmm.
think that's part of the problem. And it's something that he and I have talked about. There's when you own a business, it's 24/7. There's always
Hmm.
something to be done. There's no
Hmm.
cutoff, there's no shutdown, there's
But
no
shouldn't there be?
there should be. We talk about it. We
Uh
talk
huh.
about, okay, it's gonna, we're gonna Sundays is our day to do this, 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 this. But Sundays comes and we're working. We're working on the
Hmm.
website, we're working on this. So I feel that the balance, it's not balanced. We're not
No.
balanced. I'm not balanced. He's not balanced. And I think when
Hmm.
you bring that together into a couple, a relationship, you both stress, you both, it's the slightest little thing is going to annoy you.
Hmm.
Because if you're not balanced within yourself first and then you're trying to be balanced with the partner, it's just not going to work. So that's where
Well,
I'm
we
at.
we have several comments. Denise says, agreed, it forces you to be organized. George says, I agree, life is much more busy now that I'm older. Yeah, I guess. Nina says hello. And Danny says, success is in direct proportion of sacrifice. Danny, I'd love to hear what you have to say about that and come on if you want to come on. But that's an interesting point. But
Mm,
we are talking about balance here. And
yeah.
I think the modern woman, it's just go, 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 and look sexy and look good. I can bring home the bacon, right? Okay, Miss Ann, what's that song? But everybody, and hi, Mary. And the thing is where do you get some of you time or us time built in? You said you guys talk about it, but I got the impression that you said Sunday
No.
comes and then you got to do this, 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 and this.
Yeah.
So, I know
It's
you're
it's
building an empire and I understand that, but
yeah.
what about coupledom? Coupledom. New word, coupledom. Good for me. Okay. But what
Yeah.
is what does Nina say?
Nina says,
Sometimes,
"Sometimes I find some things got to give. Cleaning and cooking is what falls on the back end often for me." Yeah,
well,
you know?
I have
Yeah.
to I have to admit something that I have that time to do that and I don't. Anyway, okay, next subject. Forget it. But um so what do you do when, there Nina says, but there's still shame around not getting it all done. Well,
Yeah.
I've been practicing a lot of this self-care and I always think there's always tomorrow.
Hold on, Danny. Hold
What's
on.
that from? What's that from? There's always tomorrow. What's that from? Oh, you guys, it's
That's
from
a movie?
Rudolph. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. It's
I
Christmas
never saw
time.
the whole movie.
How could Oh, come on. Jeez. Okay. Danny wants to know how he gets on. Danny, I can't help you with that.
1 second, 1 second, I'm
Okay. George
coming.
says moms are superhuman till their kids are gone. Jennifer says, hello, ladies. Nina says, Rudolph, thank you. And Clarice sings it. Well, I tried to sing it, but I think Clarice sings it better. Yes. Um, Mr. Ray wants to chime in. Yes, I think Danny
All
should
right.
chime in. 18% of people in North America not just stress about their work environment, but they stress about their relationship. So
Mhm.
that tells you, where we're at. So the work balance, I think personally, is out of whack. Even though, you guys are entrepreneurs, I still think that sometimes you just got to close the book. Hi, Danny. You just got to close the book and just say, listen, we need some time, or you need some time just for yourselves to say, I love you, but I'm going off to get my nails done, my hair done,
Where did
and did I
where did
insult
he just
Danny? What happened? Where'd he go? What'd we do? I'm sorry, Danny, but
Where did he go?
sometimes you need that alone time to go out with your friends.
Yeah.
Socializing is very, very important, and a lot of people don't get that, but
Uh,
it's something that is healthy for people to do. Let's
what
see.
happened? Can
Nina
you hear us?
says, um, Jennifer says, I dedicate part of Saturday and Sunday for house chores. Monday through Friday, I do surface work, wipe down, tidy up. God bless you, Jennifer. Nina says, working from home and for myself makes it even harder to balance. Nina, I'd love to hear more about that. Mary says, hi, Danny. Jennifer says, I feel like the Brady Bunch screen. Oh, what else, Danny? He's back. And Danny is on the screen looking up at Lisa. Yeah, there you are. So, Danny, how
Can
do
he
you, oh my
is
gosh,
his
so
wait,
cute.
is his
What?
is your
What?
audio working? No.
No, can't hear you, Danny.
You can hear me now.
Ah, there you
And
go.
we can hear you now. So, okay, so you're the power couple. How do you balance everything? What do you do? Because that, as much as it's important to build and grow your business, what do you do to keep this relationship fresh? You know what I mean? So there you go.
Um, I think it's certainly not an easy thing to do. Is balance. We have challenges balancing things.
Yeah,
Sure.
Um,
working
I'm
from
I'm
home.
just distracted about this whole Rudolph thing that she doesn't know what that is. But anyway,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's kind of, yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
you,
My
Danny.
brain was like Rudolph. How do you Rudolph? I've
Yeah,
talked
how
about
do you
that. But
not know
anyway,
Rudolph? Lisa. Oh,
um,
okay.
no balance is when you're working together. I think what happens is we used to have a tremendous balance and routine and schedule. I think
Hmm.
that's really, really important in success that you must have a balance. Very rarely is it 50-50. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
80-20,
Yeah.
both
Hmm.
ways. Sometimes it's
Sure.
60-40, sometimes it's
Hmm.
40-60. But that's what happens when you have a partnership. All right. If you have a partnership and you expect it to be 50-50 all the time, well, good luck
No.
with that. You're going to be disappointed
I
100% of
agree.
the time.
Yep.
Hmm.
So, although we've had challenges, I think in the last year
Hmm.
of we used to balance things very well. Then what happens is, especially living out in the middle of nowhere in the middle of Georgia, you get lackadaisical, you get complacent. I think that's affected us sometimes too. But
Hmm.
I think it's the most important thing is when you're balancing, you have to have structure and you have to have routine. Routine and structure is very, very pivotal because that
Yeah.
that that is there that comes from discipline. Okay, so when you're having a balance, if you don't have discipline, routine, and structure, sooner or later the dish is going to fall out of your hand. You have to
Well,
have discipline. That's really important.
do you
Yeah.
guys have lunch together or dinner together every night?
Yeah, I
Dinner.
mean, yeah, dinner,
Well,
Well,
lunch.
we just implemented where Danny now cooks Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. I
Yeah,
cook Tuesday, Thursdays,
and Saturdays.
okay.
and Saturdays, and then on Sundays we cook together.
Yeah,
Okay, I think that's lovely. I think that's really important to have that together
Yeah.
time because, you just said a little while ago, you talk about talking and communicating, and I think that's really important, especially to keep a marriage close.
yeah,
If
Hmm.
things are going great, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But when things are kind of, I'm not going to say on the rocks because that doesn't apply here. But when things are, say, I'd like to spend some time with you. Well, I'm really busy. Obligations and priorities, I think, are two very different things. A priority is to me, you're making your relationship a priority, but you have to meet your obligations to your clients. You know what I mean? You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Um,
And go ahead.
I guess priorities and obligations. It's kind of hard. It's well, they're going to get meshed together and
They're similar, but they're different. Yeah.
yeah, I mean they're going to get meshed together because we are with each other 24/7. We work with
Yeah.
we were just on the opposite ends of the house, but it's obligation and priorities. Um, I mean, I think we're an autopilot really when it comes to obligations and priorities. I mean,
Yeah.
we have kids, we let the dogs take care of themselves.
Hmm.
I really believe though to have a successful balance with life and home is you have to be disciplined, have structure, and you have to have routine. You have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Without that, it's no discipline. You can't achieve anything without discipline. You can be the most talented person in the world without discipline. It doesn't matter. You know.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
need to have time for each other, and you
Well, what
have
about
to review it and adjust it as
what
needed.
about? Do you have friends here? Do you have friends where you live now? Have you made friends? Have you played nice in the sandbox? Have you made friends?
Acquaintances, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not really that big with like friends. Our friends are people that we work with. I mean, they're probably the
Okay.
closest people that
Yeah.
are friends. I mean, like family
Hmm.
friends, really.
Okay.
But me and Lisa also, we used to go away every 3 months for an extended day
Hmm.
weekend. And when we try to do that, we don't do it nearly as much as we used to because that was the whole thing: work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard.
Hmm.
So I think it does definitely come back to. I mean, we don't go out with birthday parties. We don't go out and hang out with a couple and go out to the bar. We don't do. That's just.
But you create time for one another. I'm not talking about, la la la, wink wink. I mean, you create time for one another, right?
But I mean, I think time. I think time creates time. I think the fact that we're always together. I mean, we're
Yeah.
literally always together.
But you're
Yeah.
working. I'm talking about walking hand in hand on the beach, which I see pictures. So,
Yeah, I
things like
mean,
that. I
well, I'm
mean,
not.
When we
so you
go
make
away,
time
when we go
for your
away,
relationship.
yeah, when we go away, we'll watch movies in the evening,
Hmm.
unwind.
Okay.
Um,
You
you know,
create time for one another.
yeah.
I think that's
Should it
really
be
important.
more? Should it be more? Yeah.
Well, here's the
Okay.
thing. I'm gonna. I don't know how
Uh-oh.
the hell that's gonna happen. We live together. I mean, we pass each other. You know, we. You know,
Where do you go?
Yeah.
Hi.
it's
Hi.
one of those
Talk to you
things.
later.
It's every
Okay.
night at 8 o'clock where we're both in the same spot.
We're on the
In our
you can't
recliners,
see, but we're on opposite side of the
literally
house.
opposites and like
Like,
literally opposites
Okay.
of the end of the.
I
yeah.
want to get into some comments here. Mary
Yeah.
says finds it easier to work from home. Jennifer says she works from home. Lisa and Danny, I know how many hours go into your workday. It's not easier to work from home. No way, Jennifer says, not in her experience. Nina says, my husband and I stopped eating dinner in front of the TV, eating together, and it's been a game changer. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, George says communication is key. Jennifer says working from home can agree you find yourself looking around you and worrying about the house chores, and that can add mental stress to your day. Yes,
Yep.
even I do that. That makes me cuckoo. Mary says, I find to clear my head, I will stop working and do a small chore, empty dishwasher, or start dinner. The worst chore in the world is emptying the dishwasher. That is the worst. I'm just saying.
See,
Okay.
I do those things like
Uh.
I take advantage of when the dogs need to go out
Mhm.
because I don't want to go back to my office, get on the phone call and forget about my dog. Because it can happen.
Okay.
So what
Yeah.
I'll do is when I know I let a dog out, I'm staying in that area and I'm gonna attempt to the dishes or whatever, put the laundry in the dryer, whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
Um, so I'll get to
Okay.
those things so that way later in the day, it's not like, okay, I got to do all of these things now because, it didn't
Mhm.
get done during the day. So I utilize my time in that aspect. And then if if I'm in that area of the house, I'll stop by Danny's office. I'll peek in.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
that's I, they say work life balance is is difficult, but if you structure it well, it can be easier.
And I'm going to add to that too, because the old saying, how you go ahead, you have first and foremost, and it's hard when you're working from home, you have to divorce the two,
Mm-hmm.
meaning work. And that's something that we have a challenge with because it's just meshed in together. Like I could be on the
Mhm.
couch and get something from a client. And I'll run in my office, write a policy at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's the path
Or
it goes. And uh, now, let me make this one point, Lisa.
uh-huh.
Now, what I mean by divorce each other, you have to leave the briefcase at the door. Now, when you're going out and leaving the home, and then you go into your office like we used to do, you leave the briefcase at the door. In other words, when you walk out of your house, you pick
Yeah.
your briefcase up. It's an imaginary briefcase. It's a mindset. You go to the office, do your thing. Okay, now when you leave the office, before you walk in your home, you leave the briefcase at the door. You walk in, it's a totally
Right.
different thing. You got to disengage.
Yeah.
Very challenging to do that when you work 100% of the time at home.
Yeah.
And you have a business that is stretched across 6 time zones. You have clients in all 50
Yeah.
states. It's something that that's just for us anyway. Okay, it's very
Mhm.
different. You're leaving the house and doing things, but you got to divorce the two or try to. That's
Because
how.
you will get a text message from a client at 10:30 at night because maybe they're in California.
Yeah.
So we commit ourselves to working those hours for people that need us for those times. So you
I have
can't.
a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the norm for what you do? That will other people, if they did what you do, and somebody texts them at 10:30 at night,
Yeah.
will they get back to them? Is that the norm, or is that just
No.
an extra?
Jennifer
Yeah.
Bassani would.
No. Well, here's the thing. Jennifer's on here too.
Okay.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
There's a difference
Okay.
between ordinary and extraordinary.
Yes.
Ordinary
Yes.
do extra people that do extraordinary do everything the ordinary person does and a little bit more. And in
Yeah.
our
Mhm.
business, that will catapult your income by 50%. Just doing a little bit more. So in our
Mhm.
business, absolutely not. It would probably be, I would say, 2 out of 10 agents probably do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So
it comes down to gauging success and doing the little bit extra, which is
okay.
more. Yeah.
Now I have a question for you. I think that's outstanding, by the way, and it is extraordinary.
Hmm.
What if you didn't do it? What if you were just saying, I'm taking my time, I'm putting up a boundary, I'm done at let's say working late, 8 o'clock at night.
Then I'll tell you what the pros and cons to that. The pros are,
Okay.
all right,
Yeah.
good. You got extra home time, right?
Yeah.
Con to that is complacency.
Hmm.
Okay.
I'm complacent. Like then you get
Uh-huh.
into a habit. See, habits are good and bad habits, and different habits a habit. So if
Sure.
you
Yeah.
get, oh, you know what, I'm just going to take care of that later. Oh, just going to kick the can down the road. You know what? Tomorrow never comes. I'll do that in
Hmm.
5 minutes. That
Okay.
spurs complacency and bad habits because it
Okay.
doesn't happen in that situation. That can
Okay.
get a mental mindset that just now you're doing it. Your kids. Well, you know what? We'll just do that tomorrow, Dan. You
Do
know
you
what?
guys
That's what I believe in.
do you guys make business decisions together, or is Danny the sole decision maker since you're
Um,
both in the business?
you want me to answer that? Do you want to answer that, Lisa?
No, you can.
No. I would say we both make the decisions on financial stuff pretty much.
Okay.
Um,
I think that's
I
important.
have, I mean, business wise, I take care of all the finances and stuff. But if something
Hmm.
that's a big thing, I'll of
Yeah.
course we'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
But what Lisa brings to the table about that
Uh,
is I have a character defect that I want to help everybody,
hmm. Okay.
even the people that don't deserve the help or just
Hmm.
waste my time. She is the determining factor. There has been times where without consorting with her, I brought out an agent. It was a bad idea, and then we ended up learning the hard way. So she
Okay.
keeps me in check with stuff like that. So overall, absolutely, we definitely talk
Okay.
about the
Well,
business and everything else. But she's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Different
I
guy.
think that's really important to maintain a balance, to make sure that the spouse feels like I'm included in a 50-50, you're making some kind of decisions together rather than somebody says, "Oh, I just sold the house." What?
Yeah.
Something like that. Oh, what just happened? So I think that's
Yeah.
important. Also, I think to achieve balance, you also have to really listen to one another. And you guys said communicating is one of the biggest things for your relationship to work, right?
It's any relationship to work, really.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
very big on communicating.
Hmm.
Communication. Like,
Do you guys ever fight? And if you fight, do you
I
fight.
fight
think
dirty?
I think we in 8 years maybe we had 2 fights.
Get out of
Yeah.
town. Are you
Like we
serious?
don't really fight. Like what'll happen is we just won't talk to each other for a day. And
Oh,
it'll just
okay.
be, and that'll be that, and that speaks
Yeah.
volumes to both of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we won't
Hmm.
like scream, yell,
I'm
frisbee
not a
at
fighter.
each other. Nothing like
Okay.
that. Me, I'm more of a, I'm just gonna take a ride, and I'll take a
Okay.
ride, and I'll come back,
Yeah.
and it'll be like, okay, everything's good.
Okay.
And I'm like, "Do you want some guacamole?"
Yeah, that's like, yeah. So
Okay.
we disengage. We know it's bullshit. Sometimes you just got to take a moment, take a breath.
Okay. Well,
Relationships and experience taught us that, I think.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lisa, on your Facebook page today, you said you did a lot of soul searching about mind, body, soul. And I found it very interesting, especially with what we're talking about today about
Yeah.
finding balance and everything. And have you, after, Danny's sitting here, and thank
Yeah.
you, Danny, for your input where you left.
You might have tended to a dog maybe.
Okay. But have you found a life balance yet? Because I know you haven't, because we were talking
Yeah.
before. So, I mean, how do you start working on achieving it? What are you doing for self care?
I think it starts with time management, not
Okay.
not together with a spouse or a partner or with work. I think within
Okay.
yourself.
All
You
right.
have to do that within yourself first before you can meet somebody halfway. Um,
Hmm. But you
and
said you were
I
having trouble with
yeah,
finding this life balance.
because
And
I feel
why?
like
Why does it hurt?
because that's a very good question, Helen.
Hmm.
You know, I
Hmm.
start the day earlier and earlier to meet my goals. And
Hmm.
the day will, it really depends on the day because what we do also, anything can happen. You can get a phone call and you're going to be on the phone for like an hour with a client fixing whatever the case may be,
Hmm.
their payments, their billing, or updating beneficiary. You could be on the phone for an hour and a half, so your other goals are going to be shifted. Okay, and then maybe you don't get to those goals. So I find that to be a little bit challenging sometimes, not getting to all the goals. Maybe I just had an off day.
Okay. Does it make
I
you
don't
feel
give
bad?
it does, and I don't give myself enough grace sometimes,
Yeah.
Why?
um,
Why?
because I don't want to disappoint. I don't want to disappoint myself. I don't want to disappoint my clients. I don't want to disappoint Danny. He's a partner in a business that's
Uh huh.
growing. So those all the things that weigh on you. Or did I not make dinner that day?
Well, what would
It's
make you
9 o'clock
change?
at night, huh?
What would make you change? Because I think self care is
Yeah,
very important, but for both of you,
yeah.
because I know
I
just
tell her all
how.
the time. I tell her all the time, get your nails done. Go do this. Go
I
take a
Lisa,
do.
Saturday morning. Go to the beach
Once every 3
with a
weeks.
camera. With your
I
camera.
do.
Take some pictures. I tell you that
Lisa,
all
you
the time.
love taking pictures, yeah. So you
I'll tell
said,
you
and
this.
I remember last year you said, "I'm gonna go start taking pictures again."
Yeah.
I don't do enough for myself. Absolutely
Why?
Yeah.
100 freaking
Why?
percent because I
Why?
have other
Why?
obligations.
Obligations or priorities?
he's, he's shaking
She
his
could have
head.
smacked me. Okay.
All right.
I
So
have
going back to
other
the.
obligations. So if I take us first of all,
All right. Here's the thing.
anywhere I go is a 2-hour drive just to get there.
I'm
Just so
sorry.
you
Why
know.
do you guys
What a
do
way!
that?
No traffic. What
Why
a
did
way to
you
just
do
take a
that?
ride and chill and not to worry about anything.
Yeah, if you're in the boondocks, for God's
You take
sake,
the
I mean,
Tesla for a
okay.
ride. Just hit the autopilot, and you can read a book and drive at
Boondocks.
the same time.
Oh,
No.
No,
I,
but
I,
but disappointment. first and foremost, you don't need to feel that way about anything.
I do. You don't
Yeah.
you don't understand. That's just it's okay, here's the thing. And most men, and it's not an insult, it's not to be mean or anything in any way, shape, or form for the men
And
that are
she
on
said
here.
most men.
Shush. They don't understand. Women are by nature nurturers. They want to do things, they want to make sure everything is done, for their family, their loved ones, their children, their spouse, their whoever. So you do all these things. So now if I take the day and I stop what I'm doing for work, business, the dogs, the house, and go spend the day out that way, by the time, can you hear me? Helen, I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
You can hear Helen?
No, I can hear you. Helen, you're in mute. I can't hear you.
So if Helen can still hear me, I just don't do it. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know.
Well, it comes down to prioritizing. The most important person in your life is yourself. All right. You have to be selfish to become self-sufficient. Now, a lot of people on the comments might disagree with that. You personally have to become before even your kids, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. Eventually, the wheels are going to fall off. You're going to derail, and then what happens when a train comes off its rails. What happens?
Yeah.
So you have to always put yourself first and take care of yourself. Now, I know this parent. I'm a parent. Lisa's a parent. Between the both of us, we have 7 kids. I mean, parents might be like, "Well, I got to put my kids in front of, always come before me." Yeah, but you know what? You're missing the point with it, though. People that think that way.
Yeah.
All right. You have to physically take care of yourself before you have any business taking care of somebody else. Why do you think sometimes when people have children at a younger age and they put the child ahead of them, okay, they're still a child themselves, they have a baby. Okay, sooner or later, the wheels are going to fall off. They have to physically take care of themselves in order to take care of a child. Okay, so when it comes down to doing things for yourself, Lisa, you have to put that priority in place, because it's only going to make you feel good. It's only going to make you feel good. And, being disappointed, in my opinion, is I'm not going to say it's an excuse, but you do have to do things for yourself. I do too, for myself. So
I know.
I'm not responsible for your happiness. You're not responsible for my happiness.
Absolutely. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Your mic is muted. You muted yourself somehow.
Bottom of your screen on where that mute button is.
Here I am.
There you go. Was it the bottom of the screen with the mute button?
You betcha. Thank you. Okay. Well, what you said, but I'm sure it was very good and very profound, and I'm sorry about that. But the last part I heard, what was you're not responsible for her happiness, and she's not responsible for yours, and I think that's really important. But in this day and age, I think self-care is more and more important, because, like George said at the beginning of the show, that modern women are busier than ever, and I think we expect more from ourselves. Especially women in business. Mary's an entrepreneur. Anna, I think Jennifer is an entrepreneur, if I got that right, and Marie, I think too. But it's just not easy, and finding that balance. I'm glad I do have the free time to find that balance. Because I think it's very hard. And I think it's hard for a relationship too. You guys work together, so you kind of see each other, and you can give each other a little pat on the fanny as you're walking by. Hey, see you later. But I mean, if there are 2 people that work in opposite buildings, or just work can get to I think work can destroy more marriages than anything else.
Well, it's also I think acceptance. You gotta have to have each other's backs, Like some relationships, they're on the same page. They have the common goal. They know that whether it's the husband or the wife, they're going out, being the breadwinner,
Yeah.
they need certain things that need to be done for them to be successful. So
Mm-hmm.
there's an understanding at home where they're both in the boat rowing in the same direction. Then you have other
Yeah.
relationships where, the measuring stuff, if you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and it just doesn't.
Uh,
There's no chemistry. There's no I got your back regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding that there's going to be ups and downs, and they just weather the storm like a mariner.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of relationships they talk but they don't walk. They
Yeah.
just they do a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna solve this problem, but if it makes you think twice, Lisa, I think it's worth it because I do think you deserve to take care of yourself as much as you want to build a business with your handsome husband there.
Well, I don't want you
Um,
to. I mean, I know you saw a post today, but it wasn't. It was more
mhm.
on
Yeah.
time management. It wasn't really
Okay.
anything else. Just to be clear on
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I wanted to just address because I know that you can't go past 7:40. Jen was saying how she went to visit her mom yesterday, came home to hungry huggy, kids' laundry was still there waiting for me, and had to still prep for Monday. No social life outside of work, no friends. I
Hmm.
think that sometimes that's okay though, Jen. Where the outside noise is going to be a distraction for what you're trying to do, what you're building. As far as the laundry, get to it when you get to it because it's going to be there waiting for you. Or have the kids do it, but I've been there. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, did
Aw.
we solve this tonight? I don't think so, but it was a good talk anyway. Thanks for
Ah,
coming on, Danny.
No problem. No problem. I always love
absolutely.
you guys.
Absolutely.
I always love value.
Huh?
I always if I can add value, I always love to come on.
No,
Absolutely.
we'll hold you
Absolutely.
to that.
Yes.
Um,
You're gonna
no,
you're gonna do the blended family one,
yes, yes, you are. I hope you
December
know that,
11th.
Danny. Yes,
Oh yeah, I love to do that.
Blended
yes,
families.
Yeah.
that's really
Okay.
important. Um, we all hope you have a good holiday because we will be back December
Yep.
4th. We're
Yep.
not going to have a show. Gobble, gobble week. I love that. No show November 20th or November 27th.
Yep.
That's Thanksgiving week. So we're going to be off with our families.
Yep.
And thanks for listening, everybody. And thanks for sharing your input. We really
Yep.
appreciate it. Thank you.
We are on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and Radio Public. And we now have a YouTube channel, everybody.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
LHTR Podcast.
Go us. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And if you're looking for a producer, let us know. Reach out to Jace at www.producerjace.com.
Jace spelled Jayce. Jace.com. Producerjace.com. Have a
Yeah.
great holiday, everybody. We'll see you in December.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.